Year's Stannic Touring Car Challenge went all the way to the wire. Going into the final rounds of the series at East London, just 5 points separated championship leader Shaun van der Linde and reigning champion Mike Briggs. There was plenty of pressure on BMW Envirocar factory driver Shaun van der Linde in East London. Apart from his role in the destiny of the championship, van der Linde is set to represent South Africa at the FIA Touring Car World Cup at Donington on Sunday. Fresh from 2 maiden victories for the Minolta Toyota Camry squad at the Goldfields Raceway, Mike White continued with the team's resurgence at the famous East London Grand Prix circuit and put the Minolta Camry on pole position. Stannic proudly present highlights of rounds 21 and 22 of the Stannic SA Touring Car Championship from East London. After 20 rounds on 6 circuits throughout South Africa, the Stannic Touring Car Championship was heading for a dream finish, with 2 men in contention for the title. Defending champion Mike Briggs had his 1-point lead at Welcome whittled away to a 5-point deficit against former South African and Formula GTI champion Shaun van der Linde. The Mercedes-Benz National Race Day at East London included the final event in the 1994 Stannic SA Touring Car Challenge. Title contender Shaun van der Linde had worked out his strategy for the race.
Shaun has been very good to me this year regarding the championship. He's helping me. He was helping me a couple of races, and thanks to him, I'm leading the championship at this point in time. If it gets to that stage, I'm sure he'll have to help me there.
Such as East London. Mike Briggs' Opel Astra was sporting the new spoiler and wing that was allowed on all cars from the Goldfields event, and he was savouring the car's improved handling on the long straights of the historic Grand Prix circuit. Apart from the battle between Briggs and van der Linde, the manufacturer's title was also still wide open, with BMW leading Opel by 15 points. Qualifying is never without its problems, and Nissan's Nick de Waal, who's had mixed fortunes during the season, explained why he'd been struggling with his BP Sentra.
Had our fair share of problems. We were one of the fastest cars around, and then in qualifying, the left rear wheel bearing gave a problem. So we never had a chance to put up a good flying lap, hence the fact that we on the back of the grid.
Grant McCleary's plans to be close to Briggs and van der Linde didn't come together, and he brought in his PG Autoclass Opel Astra to make some adjustments to cure his handling problems. Shaun van der Linde, who with teammate Dion Joubert drives his BMW Envirocar on unleaded fuel, was fighting hard to put in a good qualifying lap, since half his problems with Michael Briggs would be over if he qualified in a better grid position. He has just turned 24 and is also heading to Donington in England to compete in the FIA Touring Car World Cup on the 16th of October. A good qualifying lap may be a win, and the title is exactly what he wants at this point in his career. His BMW Envirocar teammate Dion Joubert, who raced in the World Cup last year, was optimistic about their chances.
The all-drive car is much quicker through sweeps, and we're hoping that's where our advantage will lie tomorrow. I think we're quicker up this around the fast sweep, and they're a bit quicker in the complex, and hopefully we'll have the advantage because of that.
Mike White, fresh from his success at Goldfields, once again put in an excellent performance in the Minolta Toyota Camry. The car is powered by a British-built Tom's engine from Dave Cook Racing Services in England, who also built the Castrol Camry of Serge Damso. The 2 cars have proved to be competitive right from the word go, and were proving to be a thorn in the side of the other teams once again in East London.
Dave Cook has done a superb job of setting the car up for me. The Camry is going so well, and it's our 2nd pole in a row, and we've just got to try and keep it going.
Mike White planted the Minolta Camry firmly on pole position for the race, just 1/10 of a second faster than Dion Joubert in the BMW Envirocar. On the 2nd row was Shaun van der Linde, who held an advantage of just 0.02 of a second over Anthony Taylor in his Motorplan BMW. Alongside him was Mike Briggs in his Opel Astra, 0.3 of a second ahead of the Castrol Toyota Camry of Serge Damso. Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra is on row 4, pipping Nick de Waal's BP Nissan Sentra by 1/10 of a second. The 5th row of the grid is shared by the 2nd BP Nissan Sentra of Hannes Krobler and the speedy car sales Vauxhall Cavalier of Farouk Dangoor. Duncan Foss led the B-Class on the grid. One of the great circuits of South Africa, the Grand Prix track in East London, is a fine mixture of high-speed straights and corners with a tight section halfway round just to ruffle the feathers of the drivers. It's Mike White on the left and Dion Joubert next to him, and they're off. A great start by Shaun van der Linde from third on the grid as he squeezes in between the two. We're with van der Linde, who's next to Mike White, but it seems as if he's got a problem with his gearbox. Yes, he definitely missed a gear change there, and the whole field comes streaming past. There's Taylor, Briggs comes past, and so do Damso and White. Things are getting a bit physical through Potters, but what a tragedy for van der Linde. And Mike Briggs probably can't believe his luck. Dion Joubert leads Anthony Taylor, and they've opened up a handy little gap to White, Briggs, Damso and the rest of the field. Joubert defends his position into the hairpin by forcing Taylor to take the outside line. Now we're in with Michael Briggs in fourth position, who's managed to stay out of trouble and at the same time dispose of his biggest rival, Shaun van der Linde. Up ahead, it's White, Taylor and Joubert into the arena. This is a beautiful camera shot as the field streams into the tight section of the track. It's Joubert, Taylor, White, Briggs, Damso, McCleary, Duval. Van der Linde is down to 8th, followed by Grobler, Dangar and Duncan Voss leading Class B. Out of the arena for the first time, and there's nothing between the first four cars. White takes a look on the inside, but wisely decides to tuck back into line. There's plenty of time for that later. Briggs also defends his position against Damso. Into the start and finish straight for the first time with Mike Briggs in his Astra. He needs to keep as many cars between him and Shaun van der Linde to make up that 5-point deficit. The wind blowing from the right is making things pretty unstable at this speed down the straight. Mike White once again takes a look on the inside of the sweep, but it's not quite close enough to Anthony Taylor's BMW. Through the sweep at 200 kilometers per hour, flat out in 6th, and those tyres are all stretched to the limit. This is championship leader Shaun van der Linde, still in 8th, and let's see if he can get past Hannes Grobler. He's going to attack Grobler on the inside of the hairpin. It's hard on the brakes. Has he got him? Grant McCleary is looming just ahead. He cuts across the line to stop van der Linde coming fast out of the corner. Van der Linde goes wide a little bit onto the dirt on the outside, but is past Grobler and one place closer to Briggs, but now he's got Grant McCleary to contend with. Joubert still followed by Taylor, White, Briggs, Damso, McCleary and then van der Linde. Grobler, Nick Duval who's fallen back and Dangar in the Vauxhall. Briggs will be happy with 2 cars between him and van der Linde, but the BMW driver will have the bit between his teeth. Down the straight with the wind in their backs once again, and White is pushing. He's going to try and dive through on the inside of Anthony Taylor again, but he locks up his brakes. He's left it too late, and here's trouble. White will never make the corner. Joubert cuts across in front of him. Where's Taylor? No, he's through, and White flat spots his tyres onto the dirt. He's going to kick himself. Let's take a look at that again from Mike Briggs' car. White tries to outbrake Taylor on the inside, but locks up his wheels. Taylor is hard on the brakes, and the Toyota slides off onto the dirt on the outside. Briggs is now up to 3rd. This is white-knuckle stuff, on the limit of adhesion through the fastest part of the circuit at over 200 kilometers an hour, and Joubert has now opened up a handy lead over Taylor after that incident with Mike White. He wants maximum points for the manufacturer's challenge. Briggs is now 3rd, with a hard-charging Damso on his heels and Grant McCleary with the best seat in the house. Briggs again into the hairpin. He wants to get another car between himself and van der Linde, but at the same time he's got to keep his nose clean and not get involved with a scrap with Damso or Taylor. The BMWs definitely seem to have the edge along the straights and the fast corners, but in the tight section, the Opels of Briggs and McCleary seem to close the gap. In the background, Nick Duval is going places and goes past van der Linde. His gearbox still seems to give him trouble. Back with Briggs, and this time is closer to Anthony Taylor, with van der Linde having fallen a further position behind. Briggs can consolidate his point standing by getting past Taylor, and he does it. Into the hairpin before the main straight, he outbrakes Taylor, and he squeezes into 2nd place. Past the pits they come, and now it's Joubert in the BMW, Briggs in the Opel, Taylor in the BMW, Damso in the Toyota, McCleary in the Opel, Duval in the Sentra, van der Linde in the BMW, Grobler in the Sentra, Dangar in the Vauxhall, and a disappointed White in the 2nd Toyota. Further back in Class B, touring car rookie Duncan Voss in his Nissan Sentra had absolutely no competition, leading a fierce battle between stalwart Jesse Huggett in his Alisa car hire Volkswagen Jetta and Kursi Swanepoel in his BMW 325IS. 5 laps have gone and the positions have remained unchanged. Briggs is on 6 points in 2nd position, with van der Linde out of the points in 7th position. If they finish in this sequence, Briggs will have made up the 5-point deficit and turned it into a 1-point lead. But let's not start speculating. That's normally bad luck to the drivers. Taylor's tyres seem to have lost some grip, and here's somebody in trouble. It's Farouk Dangor's Vauxhall Cavalier. He locks up his brakes into the hairpin and is off into the dirt. That's his race over. Now we're in with Anthony Taylor into the arena. Briggs is up ahead, but he seems to be struggling with the handling of the Astra. Now you can clearly see how hard a driver has to work in the cockpits of these cars. Briggs's car is all over the place. The first 5 cars have pulled away a little bit from the rest of the field, and McCleary is past Damso. McCleary has put his Opel Astra's nose in front of the Toyota Camry of Serge Damso and gained another point. Damso is not going to like this. Yes, he shows his displeasure very clearly, and McCleary can be sure that Damso is not going to take this lying down. Meanwhile, the tension is tangible in the BMW pits as their championship contender is languishing in a non-point scoring position. And speaking of which, we're with the unhappy Van der Linde, who needs to grab back his position from Nick de Waal in the Sentra. The 2 Sentras of de Waal and Krobler have had tyre problems during the latter parts of some of the races this season, and Van der Linde is definitely closing up on de Waal. They're under-braking for the hairpin, and Van der Linde is very close. They touch as Van der Linde just edges a little bit too close, but it doesn't seem serious. Yes, a little way from Van der Linde to say, sorry, I didn't mean that. Here's the battle for the lead. Still, it's Dion Joubert with Mike Briggs close on his tail. Will Briggs be able to get close enough to snatch the lead from Joubert? The Opel handles better through the tight corners, but catching and passing are 2 different matters altogether. Keeping a careful eye on proceedings is Anthony Taylor in the BMW. Further back, Serge Damso has repassed Grant McCleary. Van der Linde is on 1 point in 6th, followed by Nick de Waal in the Sentra. Class B is still being dominated by Duncan Foss in his Sentra. Back with Briggs in 2nd position, passing the pits, and what must be a very happy pit crew. A result like this is exactly what the doctor ordered. Here's our Class B leader, Duncan Foss, in his Nissan Sentra, who's running away. On the last lap for the other 2 competitors in Class B, and Swanepoel has passed Huggett. They'll have to be on the lookout for the leaders as Dion Joubert is storming down on them. This can have a major influence on the final result of the race, since the 2 back markers are involved in a battle of their own and might not give Joubert a clean road to pass. This could be just Briggs' chance. Past the stationary car of Dangor they go, and Huggett immediately moves over to give the leaders enough space. But they're coming up to the arena, and this is where things could start happening. In with Briggs, he sees Huggett to the right. He moves over to the right. Joubert goes through, and now Briggs has got to do the same. Huggett takes his line into the horseshoe. Joubert locks up his brakes, and now Briggs will have to wait until they get into the straight again. It was a beautifully planned piece of timing by Joubert, which should wrap up the race for him. Headlights ablaze, our leader comes into the last corner before the checkered flag, but behind Joubert, Briggs still has to get past Swanepoel. But watch this, Huggett has tucked in behind Swanepoel, who has to give Briggs some room. Huggett is next to Swanepoel and takes him through the corner. That's racing experience for you. So a fine win for BMW and Dion Joubert, who gets the flag under cheers from his team, and Briggs comes in 2nd to score 6 invaluable championship points. He probably doesn't know it yet, but de Waal has passed Van der Linde for 6th position, handing Briggs a slender 1-point lead in the championship with 1 race to go. Taylor 3rd, followed by Damso and McCleary.
It's very gratifying for me personally, but obviously for the team, we're severely disappointed, you know. We lost our lead now, and it's going to be a hell of a thing for Shaun to catch back. Yeah, I'm very disappointed. I thought we had a very good chance of actually tying up the championship right after the first race.
I had gearbox problems, and I was battling to engage gears all the time. I mean, I just lost places. Like on the start, I had a very good start, and I went up to 2nd, and I missed the gear from 3rd to 4th, and just stuffed everything up. All the oaks got past me.
Well, such are the swinging fortunes in motor racing, but a very happy crowd must be the Opel team.
You know, I really can't believe what's happened here. We're going to go. It's still not over, so I don't want to make any rash predictions here, but at least I'm in with the fight again, and it's going to go down to the last heat, and that's all I really wanted. I want to fight. You know, if I was going to lose, I want to lose it fighting, and if I'm going to win it, I want to win it fighting. That's the way I've raced all my life, and this one has certainly turned out to be my tightest yet.
It's the most important race of the year, and it's I think if I'm going to earn my salary, it's going to be in this race. So whatever happens, I just got to stay in front of Linde, and I've got to hustle him. That is my biggest role. If everyone else gets past me, he's got to be behind me. That's the bottom line, and Michael's just got to go for it.
Stay with us for highlights of round 21 of the Stannic South African Touring Car Championship. Stannic are the proud sponsors of the South African Touring Car Championship. Stannic, your motor vehicle finance specialists. With us, you can go so much further.